Halling Stuttgart SSB DE8.12 Tram. I know a lot of you who model HO scale might not know there's a magical world of modern era tram models out there. I didn't know until last year. It took a lot of digging around and a leap of faith, but I'm glad I did. Most US modelers at least know about Bowser's PCCs or the cursed IHC Boeing LRV models. However, there is a niche manufacturer located in Austria who makes some remarkably fascinating HO-scale tram models of brand new prototypes. Leopold Halling has been producing injection-molded plastic tram, interurban, and subway models for the last few years. To my great surprise and delight, they make an incredibly exhaustive collection of prototypes from 2020's-era snake trams and subway stock to 19th century single-truck trams. Since I have a long-term plan to build a near-future tram layout to showcase some modeling approaches, I thought I'd give some Halling trams a try to see if they can be the right choice for rolling stock for this project. After sifting through literally hundreds of their online offerings, I settled on a spiritual successor to the iconic key system bridge units, the Stadler Tango LRVs. These were produced in the late 2000s in Switzerland, and my examples are in revenue service in Stuttgart, Germany. It's a high-floor design, and I intend to use it on my 21st century tram layout as part of an underground metro portion of a system that is similar to SF's Muni Metro. The good. Let's start with the gorgeous box it comes in. Halling really went the extra mile to make the packaging absolutely delightful. The front has a perfect hierarchy of information on the front telling you what the model is, where it runs, replete with a cute illustration of the actual model inside at near actual size. One side of the box is a history of the piece of equipment, albeit in German, and the other side, nerdy specifications, facts, and figures. Inside the box, the tram fits snugly in a custom vacuum-formed shell, and comes with a manual and extra couplers, which we'll talk about later. Halling manages to pull off such an incredible feat by being able to produce all the custom bodies for the various types of modern trams they offer. The form fidelity to the real tram is incredible, and truly feels modern. I'm usually used to brass models of early 20th century rolling stock, festooned with rivets and wooden sash windows. The clean smoothness of the DT812 is a sight to behold. The precision of the paint is extremely high. The pad-printed panel lines, windows, and doors look really sharp. The warnings and labeling on the sides and roof for riders and staff are incredibly sharp. The pantograph is made of metal and works great. It looks like the pans could also be wired to collect power from overhead catenary if so desired. There's a metal grommet on the ceiling that you could solder a wire to. The window tinting is an especially nice touch. The way the tram is injection molded appears to be a single-piece main body cast in the tinted glass color, upon which the decoration is pad printed atop to give it that ultra-flush feel. Truck detail is very high, with traction motor bumps underneath the scale thickness side frames. The coupling approach is also rather clever. Since it'd be very difficult to make operating automatic interurban couplers in HO scale, they provide interchangeable sets of couplers so you can MU as many of them together as you'd like. Pickup is on all wheels, and the two-unit married pair has two underfloor motors which drive the outermost trucks on either end. It also appears to have an electrical pickup on all axles for extra reliability. Also inside the box are letterboards to plop it inside the huge windshield to represent all major lines they run in Stuttgart, a very nice touch. The tram operates very smoothly at a variety of realistic speeds. I think it looks especially nice zooming along the super elevated curves on my Alta layout. I think it'll be very much at home in traffic at 10 to 20 scale miles an hour as well. They also offer it with DCC installed for a €40 surcharge, decoder included. Something you definitely should spring for if you want to operate it on a more complex network with other equipment. The bad. One of the things that makes it look very slick may also not please some modelers. The sides of the body are completely devoid of any surface detail. The cab doors and grabs, for instance, are just pad printed on versus being separate parts with grab irons. It may be difficult to impossible to add to this after the fact, but to be honest, the sharpness of the printing makes up for it. Another shortcoming is the motor and drivetrain. It's very noisy. Older modelers will remember the coffee grinder growl of the old Athearn Blue Box diesels they used to make back in the 1980s. It's louder than that. Here, have a listen. The interior, unlike the exterior, just has plastic molded seats. Same with the control stands at either end. Ironically, this might be realistic for these modern trams. The in-floor drive means the floor itself is raised to just below seat cushion level, so your figures will have to all be amputees to ride inside. The ugly. The only major detractor in the looks department, for me, is the pad-printed headlights. They had a chance to use the clear molded body to make the headlight covers from the same shell, with the cast plastic headlight housings behind it, but instead decided to save money just by printing them on. It's really the only cheesy thing about this model. Verdict? Howling makes an excellent product that runs well, looks great, and fills a much needed niche in contemporary modeling. The only thing with the pair I bought was that I was hoping to repaint them into a sort of new key system silver and orange scheme. With the pad printing approach on how these models are decorated makes it virtually impossible without an exhaustingly meticulous level of masking akin to vintage model aircraft canopies. Howling does offer custom decorated and even entirely custom designed new models for a price. I just might take them off on that offer and report back how much that end up being. I got these for €176 each, and if you're in the US in 2022, the exchange rate is very favorable. I'd recommend buying a tram from Howling as soon as possible to rake in that savings. Once I reach 100 patrons, I'll begin planning the futuristic tram layout for us all to enjoy building together. Stay tuned!